They're going to see halacha in Shgagos, but I thought it was good to bring it now. Guys, read Shgagos yet? Where's Shgagos? That's in Sefer Korbanos. We're going to finish Sefer Avodah, then we'll get to the book of sacrifices, and at the end we're going to get to Shgagos, right? What are Shgagos? There's 3 Korbanos that you could bring in Shgago. We saw what? If you're Shogeg, so you can bring a Chatas or an Asham or an Asham Talui, right? Those are the Shgagos. The person Shogeg, not exactly amazing. And we're going to see all the details. So it talks about how there is a special halacha right in the beginning of Sefer Vayikra regarding if 2 people sin, not just a regular person. The Torah talks about the Kohen Mashiach, basically anointed Kohen, the Kohen Gadol, or the Nasi. If either of them sin in a way that a regular person could sin, but they because of their rank, their office, they have to bring a different type of korban. Their chatas is different. Asher Nasi Yechata, right? So the Kohen Gadol is held to the standard according to halacha if he's actually anointed. This is the one nafkamina. If he only became a Kohen Gadol because he's a merubei bikadim, so he doesn't have the status. He doesn't bring the special korban because this time it doesn't say the Kohen Hagadol Me'echav, the high priest. It actually says HaKohen HaMashiach, the anointed priest. Right? So that's the nafkamina. And the Nasi, the Rambam says, is the king. It's another word for king. A lot of times Nasi is stand-in for king. So why do you use the word Nasi here? Because Torah mentions you're going to have a melech eventually. The Rambam says Nasi means someone who has no one ranking higher in Am Yisrael. Okay, high rank. So sometimes in history we've had, like the Rambam points out, Yeshua is never called Hamelech in any biblical verse ever. However, the Rambam uses him, as we always saw, as the example of the ideal king. The example of king, more than David HaMelech himself. Yeah, isn't that funny? So he's basically saying the Nasi in this verse means the highest ranking Jew. No one above him except for God himself. So the Rambam says, Nasi shenitz Torah. If you have a Nasi, you became a Mitzorah. What's the point? He's a Mitzorah, so he goes out of the city for a week, right? Sometimes it lasts longer. Either way, he has this. Avar minasiyuto. So now he has left office. He's no longer Nasi. Isn't that interesting? A Kohen Gadol becomes a Mitzorah. What do we do? There's no such thing as a Kohen Gadol being demoted, according to the Rambam. Malin bakodesh vein moridin. Even if they want someone else's Kohen Gadol, so they kick him away like Shlomo Melech did to Tzadok, but he's technically still Kohen Gadol. If he shows up at the temple, he has to wear Kohen Gadol vestments and keep all the halachas, right? But a Nasi, a king, can actually be removed from office. How? He becomes a Mitzorah. He's gone. Nasi, who's not Nasi anymore, he's like a hedyot. He reverts to being a regular person. Former president, former king, is just a regular person. There's no special privilege for being former king. He sinned when he was a Nasi, and then he left his greatness, means his position. So he should bring the goat as though he was still king. Why? For his sin that he sinned when he did it. So the Rambam here has a precedent for the king no longer being legitimate. First he says Nasi shenitz Torah, then he says Nasi she'avar minasiyuto. Why do you bring this example of a king who became a Mitzorah? Because the only example we have in history of a king actually leaving office, or any Nasi leaving office without dying or being assassinated, is the one king who became a Mitzorah. King Uzziah, who we mentioned before, is the example of a proper king who, unlike previous kings and future kings, when he realized that God didn't want him a king anymore, he got a sign. That was the fact he became a Mitzorah. So he interpreted the sign properly and left the office and gave it to his son, the next in line. And that's what a proper king is supposed to do. When he realizes that he no longer has divine favor, what's he supposed to do? Leave. Please leave. Okay? And I think that this would be a great thing if, let's say, the current leadership would just leave. They've obviously failed. God doesn't want them. Leave. Well, that's not how it goes. You're supposed to find someone better. Yes, I know. If the current prime minister would go, you want Gantz or Lapid? Like this, I don't know. I bet some people vote for Lapid. I think they don't. I don't know what they think he's going to do any better or different. Yeah. Like, does that make any sense to know anybody who's actually like yeah, I want to vote Yesh Atid and I want Lapid to be my prime minister because I believe in him doing things significantly different. There are people like that, but I like what? Maybe I'm missing something. Gantz, they think that Gantz he'd really make things right somehow. Yeah, there are people who believe that. I don't know. I have no faith in any of these jokers. It's just terrible. The things that come out today. Like, forget about it. What? Well, it's not a paycheck. It's a stipend. Oh, that's the only reason why they vote, so that people don't get. Well, hold on a second. The fact that a government actually gives a kitzbat yiladim is a miracle, by the way. That's not something that the Torah talks about. But I think that kitzbat yiladim and milgot la'avrechim, all the money that gives to the Haredi endeavors, is a lot less money than on nonsense. How much money they talk about the Blinken Yamach Shemo was talking about how demanding that Israel somehow give funds to the Palestinian Authority and to the Gazans. It's their money. Keep giving them money, money, money so that they can attack you. You know how much money they give them? Nothing compared to what they people are jealous of the Haredim and stuff like that. Israel, the state, of course, because it's a big bloated government, has all sorts of money it wastes, right? On nonsense. And then when it really needs the money, it doesn't. Better that the money be given to Jewish families who are raising Jewish children, right? You and I believe this. We live this life. It's much better for the Am Yisrael that the money be used for Torah study and support those who are even not so good at studying Torah, but at least they're trying to be Jewish, than all sorts of things in which it wastes money. Okay? That's just my opinion, so I don't get it.